Hello, 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 cosmic family. It is good to be here with you today. I am trying something different, so if you are here and in the comments, make sure to leave a comment. For those of you who will be watching back, there will be timestamps, so you can jump directly to the messages, to the channeled message. I'm trying something different. I know if you guys just joined, so if you are in the comments, let me know. I'm not sure if in my new setup I see them, so I'm curious if they will come up. All right, we'll do our little sound. I see Pulsar is here. Hi, Pulsar. Well, thank you. It is great to see you as well. So I wonder if you guys have been feeling this new moon energy, which invites a lot of creativity and chaos. Hi, Vana. Where are you joining from? And it's going to Hukas. How are you? So I'm curious if you guys are feeling that creative and chaotic energy pouring in. I definitely have been feeling it the last 24 hours. All right, so if you have questions for 7, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I will get into it. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Humans, it is always with great pleasure that we come amongst you to share messages. But before we start today, we'd like to preface something. And that is that the messages that we often share with you, whether it is in this way or in other ways, they're not always here to please you, all right? Oftentimes, in order to reveal to you pieces of the truth, we must do so in a way that is unpleasant to the human ears and to the human mind. But it's in that revelation that we hope that many of you will be able to yourselves align with what it is that is necessary for your personal evolution. Because it is in your personal evolution that you contribute to the greater awareness and the greater ascension of planet Earth. So in today's message, we'd like to draw for you a picture, a greater picture of this planet that you are living in, and the greater aspects of life on this planet and beyond it. See, there's something quite powerful about manifesting in a physical form. All right. And in doing so, a spirit is able to experience and to play in ways which allows for new life to manifest. And this life manifests not just on this planet, but beyond. Now, life on this planet will not be forever as it is now. There will come a time when this planet will cease to be the way that it is, and it will transform. But many of you, most of you, all of you, at this point in time do not have to worry about that. However, what it is that you are doing now and how you are living now, the intentions that you are setting now, and the vibrational work that you are doing now will dictate so much of the future, not just of this planet, but more specifically of you, the human beings. Now, what's special about the human beings is that you are made up not just of elements present on this planet, but elements present outside of this planet, which is why you are so drawn to calling us forth, to calling forth different beings, because we all share pieces of the same DNA. And that is why when humans often ask, well, why do you come forth? Well, we cannot not come forth because we are part of you and you are part of us. And so the messages that we bring forth are to remind you that what is unfolding now on planet Earth is much greater than the now. All right, much greater than the past and much greater than the future. But now we want to bring it back to you. All right, why this is so important for you. See, it is easy, and we understand once you come into a physical environment, from the moment that you are born, or even the moment that you are, before that you are born, and you are gestating within the womb, you begin to feel that discomforts of being manifested in the physical form. And what this does is it makes you aware that there is resistance to your existence. And this discomfort, this physical discomfort, sets about it new desires for you to experience more well-being. And when you begin your existence on planet Earth around other humans, they teach you the way they know that life must be lived. And sometimes this helps you align with well-being, but many times it doesn't. And so there comes a point in your existence when you begin to look for answers, when you begin to seek, what is it that this existence is about? And how can I feel more aligned? Because the moment that you align with the greater non-physical aspect of you, and you do so consistently, it is in those moments that you truly begin to experience the powerful choice of manifesting into a physical form and on this planet Earth. We understand that sometimes it is not possible to see the benefits or the beauty of being manifested in a physical form. But there is great fun to be had when you begin to realize that the greatest aspect of you, the non-physical aspect of you, is holding its arms out to support you, to help you, to guide you in this existence that often seems quite strange. Now, This matters more than ever now because life on planet Earth is at a cusp. All right. What this means is that things are about to shift very quickly in a direction that humans have never experienced before. And so we'd like for you to imagine that you are floating on the river and everything seems fine. But all of a sudden you see bubbles coming up in the water and something is a bit different. Something is strange. There is more activity happening in the water. And all of a sudden you are pulled into a waterfall. All right. Now this is what's about to happen on planet Earth. There is about to be an energetic waterfall. Now, it doesn't mean that there is a rise or fall or of anything, but what it means is that there's going to be a powerful shift in circumstances and in vibration. And so when we come forth with this warning of this waterfall, all right, that your boat is about to come down, all right? And this is not necessarily a bad thing. For those who are ready, they'll be able to enjoy the ride, feel the excitement of the ride, and be able to land in such a way that they are able to continue to float, all right? But others, they will not necessarily be ready for this, all right? Or prepared, or even willing, all right? They will get to the place where they are jumping off the waterfall, whether they are wanting to or not, the waterfall is pulling them. But then they will say, you know what? I don't want to keep playing anymore. But for those who are willing to keep playing, what they'll find on the other side is the oasis. And this is what many humans are already sensing. All right. Many of you are already sensing this shift. Many of you are already sensing that there is some activity that you're approaching that's about to shift things forever. And some of you are preparing yourselves vibrationally. Some others are wanting to prepare themselves vibrationally, but they do not know where to start. And so the best place to start is with you. All right, the best place to start is with you. Because you can only truly become aware of your path. You can only truly become aware of who you are, what you're about, and why you're here on planet Earth. And that it is in your awareness, in your alignment, that your vibration shifts. And in that, you're able to contribute to the greater vibrational pool of planet Earth. And so we will leave you with this. And it's very simple. But we know it's not so simple or easy to apply it every single day. But the more and more that you become aware of it, the better it is. And that is that you can start to give yourself a bit more each day. What do we mean by this? What we mean is that oftentimes humans are so used to cutting themselves down, putting themselves down, holding themselves back, and living small. Meaning they're not willing to rise up to meet with their higher being and to experience the vibration that is available. And the simple ways in which you do this are so simple that often you do not practice them, because often humans wait for a great sign. But signs are everywhere. Synchronicities are everywhere. And the best way is to give yourself a bit more, meaning to give yourself vibrationally a bit more sense of well-being each day. And you do this by plugging into the way that you feel. And that tells you what's going on. And that sort of, when you pay attention to that, then you start to pay attention, well, what brought me to this feeling in the first place? And you'll notice it is a thought that you had about something. But then you say, well, it's not really the thought, it's this thing that happened to me that made me feel a certain way. But then you realize that you've had many things happen to you, but it is the way in which you think about them and the way in which you frame your reality that makes you feel a certain way or another. And so each day, if you begin to notice that you might be holding yourself back by thinking of yourself a little less than, by looking out into the world and sensing that something is off, taking those moments to see, well, what is it in my experience? What is it within me? What is it in my thoughts and my feelings that can bring me back into alignment with Source? And you'll find little nuggets. And as you begin to chew on those little nuggets, little by little by little, you'll find a greater sense of well-being. It's really that simple. And a greater sense of well-being will allow you to tap into your inner resources. And those inner resources will allow you and guide you closer and closer and closer to your path. All right, so now we'd like to take a moment to address a few things that some humans have been bringing up. And we see that some of you are speaking about the year of the dragon. And the year of the dragon. See, the dragon is a powerful being in the human legacy, because a part of your DNA is shared with the dragon. And so this is why this year, and we shared with you a message at the beginning of the year, there is a great pouring of energy forth into planet Earth. And this pouring forth brings about it a lot, all right? Some of it is positive, some of it is not. But as far as you're concerned, it does not matter if it's positive or negative. It is you bringing your intention to this energy that is most important, all right? Focus. We've spoken to you about focus. And so as you begin to focus more and more and more and more, and you pay attention to what you are focusing on, that is most important, all right? That is how you can ride the dragon. All right. Now, there is something else that we wanted to speak about, which is a question that humans often ask of us. Well, why are you here? Now, we briefly answered it during this message that we just shared with you. But we want to reiterate is that we are part of you and you are part of us, all right? So we come forth because there is within us, in the non-physical, a great desire to help humans align with Source. Because it is in that alignment that you are able to uplift the vibrational energy on this planet, and that you are able to heal this planet, and that you are able to dispel the darkness that has overtaken planet Earth. And this is no easy mission, all right, for most humans. And it is not meant to be easy. And that is why there is so much help that is always pouring forth on planet Earth. And so we are an aspect of this energy pouring forth. Because from our perspective, we are able to experience reality from different timelines. And what we mean by this is that where you are right now, where humans are right now, and the way in which physical reality works, most humans are able to experience the present moment. From our perspective, we are able to experience the past, the present, and the future. And in that, it allows us to cultivate a certain perspective of not just reality as it is manifested and experienced on this planet and beyond, but what is also possible for reality to be, for existence to be. And most importantly, it is the ability to see beyond the matrix. For the matrix is very blinding. It is all-consuming. And in that consummation of human energy, many humans are left depleted and unable to carry this mission of uplifting planet Earth. But there are so many ways to unplug from the matrix. And this is why we come forth, to aid those who are ready and willing to see, those who are ready and willing to play, those who are ready and willing to explore, those who are ready and willing to align. All right, bearers of the light, yes, because while darkness plays a role in exploring the different timelines available, it is important that this darkness is balanced by the light. But something interesting happens when you begin to shine the light, is that you expose the darkness and you are able to eventually completely illuminate the darkness. And in that illumination, more life comes forth. All right, you understand? Because more life comes from light. All right, and oneness. Yes, and with that, we'd like to wrap up this message because when humans feel this sense of oneness, when humans feel this sense of unity, and you have all felt it within yourselves, when you felt a sense of completion within you, even if it's just for a few moments, you have that aha moment, aha, I understand what this is about. And there is a fullness, and there is a peace, and there is a sense of inner power and strength that is unmatched. And in that you understand yourself a little bit better. And the more and more that you experience that sense of unity, of oneness, of completion, the more and more you are one with Source. And that's it. Sometimes humans will go on and on and on to try to learn more and more and more and more. But to be one with Source does not require more knowledge. It requires an openness of your heart and a willingness to simply be, even when it seems impossible to simply be. Children are very good at that. And that is why there have been messages shared with you from other teachers to remind you to be more in the state of play, in the state of openness, where your imagination allows you to see beyond what the matrix has simulated. It is always fun coming forth to play with you humans, because we are cosmic cousins. We are all connected. And we will always be present and available for you. All right. All right. Well, that felt amazing. So, I see some comments that I'm going to be going through as I kind of come back to it. We see we have someone joining from Montreal, Regine. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. From Montreal. Yes, I don't sleep well and there's so much energy. Yes, I can feel that. Today is start of Dragon. Yes, yes it is. Oh, Dragon. Wow, your year. I'll start sensing energies better, but maybe that requires more clarity. You know, there's no forcing it. Whatever you sense, you sense. As long as you are connected in your body and present in the moment, you're the Dragon Ascension. Yes. So, hi, Pulsar. Yes. I see oneness creations, bearers of light. Yes, the Pleiadians are bearers of the light. So one thing before I wrap this up that has been a big part of the messages that have been coming through in my private channelings with Seven is about intuition. Because something interesting happens when we really wake up is we begin to tap into our intuition more and more and more. And why this matters is that without our intuition, it's like missing a compass, right? And we're moving and we're trying to figure out, which way to move. And the thing is with intuition is that it's a little bit tricky, because intuition is not an emotional reaction. And this is where a lot of people confuse intuition, because they think it's, oh, my emotions are pulling me this way or that way. It's actually in its purest form, a higher knowing. And to access our intuition, it's not about shutting down our logical brain, but it is very much about knowing when to transcend the logical part of us. And there is intuition is like the language of the soul, right? Where sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it's not even rational. But you move in a certain direction, that's the direction to go. And so I wanted to bring this up because the more that we wake up and the more that we tap into our intuition, the more that we are led from within towards our path, or in our path, right? Sometimes we're in our path, but it's about staying on our path, because there's so many distractions coming from out there, especially as energy is speeding up on planet Earth, especially as we are coming closer to this major vibrational shift on planet Earth, right? There are things coming from all directions to try to pull us, but to be able to stay not just present, but really tuned in requires us to have a very well-trained intuition. And to practice our intuition also requires us to be a bit courageous and take a chance, because sometimes, we'll think very logically and rationally about something and we'll make a choice, but then it doesn't turn out the way we really want to. And that's because we didn't listen to our intuition. But at the same time, if we were to follow our intuition, do we even know how to listen to it, right? Because intuition communicates with us very symbolically and cryptically. So being able to decipher it and to understand the language of intuition, it's understanding the language of the soul. I know many of you watching this are probably very intuitive by nature, and that's how you sense your way around. But there are those who are wanting to get more connected intuitively, and it's just sometimes difficult because sometimes our emotions get in the way. Sometimes our previous experiences get in the way. And by this I mean the experiences that have painted so much of our current reality. And sometimes these experiences are not a true reflection of who we really are, or our real path. Intuitive. Yes. Right? And so to be able to clear, it's about really clearing the muck within. All right. We all have some kind of conditioning that we come from. Sometimes this conditioning is something that helps us. Sometimes it is not. And knowing how to sift and sort through that, and it's very fine, it's like taking flour and sifting it, and it's very fine. You can't do it, like you're sifting and sorting through like beans or something. Flour is very fine, and that's what intuition is. It's just this very, very, very fine tool. But the better that we get at it, it's like a superpower. It's like a Jedi superpower. Because it starts to seep into every area of our life. And very important in this day and age with so many experts, right? We have so many books and experts and knowledge and videos about everything. It's very easy to, look on the internet about some information that actually can be intuitively found within you. I know it sounds a bit strange, but, there are, for example, feels like telepathy. Absolutely. Like there are, grandmas that might have a certain wisdom about something, an intuition about something. And then you might have this expert writing a whole book on it or doing studies on it just to come to the same conclusion of what these grandmas have been practicing for hundreds of years, And this is a big part of intuition. As a mother, I definitely like sonar, at least to me it is. Yeah. Yes, that's an interesting way of putting it. Absolutely. And that's interesting because it's actually, thinking of that makes me think of like, scanning an environment. And this is a big deal because we are constantly moving, vibrationally. Just thinking of, let's say, ancient times. Let's say a tribe of people had to move through unknown territory. And they had to be so attuned to the environment and use their intuition, right? Do we go this way or that way? Kind of like sensing their way around like a sonar system, right? And it's in the same way that we're doing it in this modern day, except that our reality is a little bit different, right? We're sifting and sorting. Now we're in the information age, right? We're in the technology age. So we're not necessarily sifting and sorting through wild environments or forests. Well, some people might still be practicing that, but we're sifting and sorting through this age of information. However, our existence is very much the same, right? Our bodies have evolved a little bit from the ancient times. For sure, we've gone through some different iterations, but not as much. So our intuition can rub off on others. Absolutely. Our intuition is especially important. I notice this as a mother, that if I'm more attuned to myself, my child will practice without even realizing being more attuned to themselves, my children, because it's a state, right, that we're in when we are more intuitive. It's not a reactive emotional state, but it's also not a state cut off from our emotions and purely logic, right? We're not like Spock or like a robot, right? But we're also not an emotional reaction. And that can be of great service, not just to ourselves, but to our tribe and the people that we're around, just as the same way that served us in ancient times, right? And this matters. This still matters in this age of information, because even though we have, let's say, the phones in our hands and we can Google everything up, at the end of the day, it is really up to that intuition to guide what's best for us. And this is where the danger is nowadays, right? Because it's too easy to be in a place where we're wanting to make a decision about something or coming to a decision about something, and then to, Google it up or read up on it. And yes, these are good. The information is good. But again, it can also lead us astray if the intuition is not fully developed. So I find it's even more important nowadays, because we're living more and more in more artificial tech environments. And the Nigerian princess. Yeah, that's an interesting one, because there's so many scams nowadays, right? And they're getting so clever, right? And they really appeal to people's emotions. And you got to be so tuned in to just be like, this sounds, too good to be true. Or, you just sense it, right? You sense it. It's a sixth sense. And it's in these little things that we save ourselves from trouble, right? But not just save ourselves from trouble, but also lead ourselves down a path where we're really connecting with situations, people, opportunities that are best for us. I think this is where a lot of people will logically follow a life path, right? Because they've been told, do this, this, and this. And they're like, okay, I'll do this, this, and this. And then they get to a place where like, wait a minute, this is not right for me. Why? Because the path wasn't intuitive for them, right? I don't think I ever trusted my gut. Yeah, and that's a great point with the gut, right? That's a big one. It's in our body, right? Intuition is in our body. And this is huge, because what's, an interesting thing that's happening in the modern day world is a lot of people are having gut issues. A lot of people, even people who I work with, they have a lot of gut issues. And this is interesting, right? But a lot of it is happening, of course, because of the way that a lot of foods are grown and all that. And but a lot of it is also coming because people are not really tuning into themselves and thinking, what is this right? Same thing, even if you're making choices about your food, you got to be intuitive about it. So many people are caught up in like, oh, I got to do it this way or that way. Your body will let you know. Your intuition will let you know. It is in the body. It's also in our energy body, right? Intuition is very much part of our energy body. The stomach does have a mind of its own. Absolutely. It has a lot of nerve endings, right? In there. And it's a powerful energy center, right? All these major parts of our bodies, they're part of not just chakras, but energy centers. And it's all connected. And when we tune in that intuition, which is, very much connected to the pineal gland as well. That's why when that's decalcified, that our intuition just is at its fullest, right? So guys, I found a YouTube channel named Street Tips, How to Make Gold or Silver with Electrolytes in the Cell. It seems very possible. Can be too good to be true. Anyway, have to investigate. Yeah, you got to play. That's the thing, right? There are definitely ways. There's definitely some very interesting information and wisdom that has been buried, right? Because There are a lot of powerful systems in place within the matrix that they don't want us to access certain things, right? I mean, we know Tesla's, the person, and how he had tapped into certain energy sources, and that knowledge was lost. And we've lost knowledge before, but there are people that are tapping into new ways of it. So I would, if that is something that you feel drawn and you want to investigate, do it. So intuition, it's really, really important. I really find that this is such a simple thing, such a basic thing, but so massive. He went to the wrong people to sell his product. That's right. Speaking of intuition, it's not just there to guide us, but it's also there to protect us, right? Because there are absolutely, that's the thing, we have to be aware. And this is something that Seven shares with me a lot, is that as we begin to raise our vibration and align with well-being, there is a desire to, and a wanting about seeing the greatness in all people, right? The potentiality of all people. But it's not always the case, right? Not everybody has the best interest, our best interest, or humanity's best interest in mind. Yes, I agree. Tesla could have used more, unfortunately. Yeah. And it's important to do this, all right? And this is something maybe I'll delve a little bit deeper in the next live, but it's how to protect yourself vibrationally, and there are different things that we can do. Obviously, applying our intuition is good, because when we're really intuitive, no matter what, there are people that might put up like a front, and some people are really good at that, especially some people that are not even real people, right? Some people who truly don't even have access to emotions, right? Or they lack empathy. And so they're really good at faking it. And they have easily fooled a lot of humans. And so why intuition is so important is to sift and sort through those people where you just sense, you're like, you know what, something's off here. It's not even that it's too good to be true. It's just something is off, and I'm going to trust it. And that's what a clear intuition helps us in the process of, because there is a lot of that around. It's definitely important to protect ourselves vibrationally. I think that's just as important as the process of lifting ourselves up vibrationally, because there are plenty of amazing people that, sometimes do get caught up in robots and lizards. Yeah, absolutely. And they have no qualms about doing certain things or behaving in certain ways just to get what they want to get. And what they really want is not necessarily the upliftment of humanity or bringing about something good. It's just about filling in those, their, little desires that they have. And they'll consume anything or anyone in the process of doing that. So it's very, very important to stay protected vibrationally. A lot of vampires out there, and lizards and robots. All right, everyone. I've really enjoyed connecting with you today, and I look forward to connecting with you again next Saturday. Most likely the same time. I'm going to announce it in the community post. So thanks for plugging in. All of you I see. Joe, Polestar, Ukas, Saint Wolf, and be blessed. I'll see you again soon.